Three. Three was a very important number in my life. 3 was the age when it all started. I was 3 years old when my life collided in front of me. Everything went numb. I was 3 years old when I was chosen for the wellness of the people. 3 years old when a girl supposed to play with dolls, I saw a family breaking in front of me. I quite never understood why I was looked very differently, why I was labeled, or why I was neglected. But slowly as life went on, I realized that I was chosen for something that was so much more important than myself. You will see a lot of labels over here on me. I am this Diana Award holder, I'm this founder of mental health organization, I'm this Miss Universe, there's so many titles. But then there's more titles that life gave it to me, which you all didn't see. So we will talk about that 3-year-old, and then we will talk about the age when you got hurt. So starting off, my life had a lot of mud. I was in a lot of mud. My mom and dad got separated when I was 3 years old. We didn't have any place to stay, so a sex worker gave us place to stay. We stayed in a brothel with sex workers. I didn't have money to study, so I started studying. I started earning when I was 13 years old. I sold yogurts in departmental stores for 700 taka per day. And by the time I was 17 years old, I had my first international job in New York in IT farm. So life was tough, but I was tougher. And every time life punched, I punched back very hard. But then again, while everything went good for me, there were bigger things that chose me even more. When I was 17 years old, slowly I started seeing some symptoms. Slowly I started seeing some symptoms happening to my body. I started having this intense pain in my stomach and my back. There was this intense pain that was consistently happening. No doctor were figuring it out why this pain is going on. Nobody was about to point it out. No medication was working. And as this pain got more and more difficult, I realized that it was only happening when I was sad. When I was sad or when I was depressed or I wasn't feeling well, that's the only time when the pain was happening. Slowly, I stopped concentrating. I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't focus. And because I was earning my own money, I couldn't earn as well. I couldn't pay my tuition fees. I couldn't go to the college. And one after another, my life started to get worse. My health started to get worse. To the point where I failed college. I failed in all the subjects. And when I failed, everybody started blaming me, pointing fingers at me. You don't deserve to study in this college. You don't deserve to be who you are. And I realized maybe they're true. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this is it. This is how my life is going to end. So the last thing that we do, hope, I stopped hoping. I stopped trying, or I stopped getting up in the morning. I started isolating myself. I remember for 7 days, I did not get out of my room. I was sitting in that corner. I was 17 years old, sitting in that corner, feeling like this is it. This is my life. This is going to end. And I'll never be able to get out from here. So 7 days, no eating, no sleeping, no talking to anybody. To a point where I started hallucinating and seeing things that are not real. I will always remember this date, 29th of July, is when I had my first panic attack. Everything from the voice down below, everything closed up. And it felt like I couldn't breathe anymore. I almost thought I was about to die. This is it. I'm dying. And I fainted. When I finally came back to my senses, from somewhere, I gathered the courage to call somebody for help. So I called this big brother of mine and I said, I don't know what's going on with me. I don't know what is wrong with me. No doctor will be able to say it, but I don't think I'm physically sick. I was 17 years old. I don't know what mental health is. I don't know what this is about. So I said, get me somebody to talk to right now. Get me somebody to talk to because I think I'm going to kill myself. And I was lucky enough to sit down with somebody from Maryland University, Baltimore. He sat down with me for 5 hours listening to my life story. And then he said, Maria, I think you have depression. I think you have clinical depression. What you were having was a panic attack. You are hallucinating because you are not sleeping for 7 days. And while listening to all of these things, as a 17-year-old, these jargons were something that I've never heard. Like, what is depression? What is panic attack? What is hallucination? Why does this happen? Why didn't we study about this in school? Why didn't my friends say about this? Why didn't my teacher say anything about this? Why did everybody point fingers at me that I was guilty? So I started questioning everything, and I started studying psychology. So when I was 17 years old, that's when this entire journey started, where I started studying psychology. Years passed by. After a year, I'm in college, and while I'm in college, there's this girl named Ithika. I don't know if you guys heard about her. She was studying in Raju College, and while I'm inside the college, she jumped from the staircase. We got to know that she was also someone who failed. She was just being taken to the VP's room. That's when she jumped. I promise you guys, I felt like she was screaming at the back of my head, trying to ask for help. She said, Maria, maybe I didn't get the help that you got. Maybe I didn't have the resilience like you did, and I couldn't take it anymore, so I quit. That was one of the most turning point for me, one of the biggest turning points of my journey. And I was angry. I was hungry for change. I wanted to do something in mental health. I wanted to talk about mental health so bad. Miss Universe came in 2019. I accidentally got enrolled by a friend of mine. And I was like, maybe this is an opportunity to talk about it. All I wanted to do is to talk about mental health on a national platform. And accidentally, again, I think I became the 4th of Miss Universe Bangladesh. And that journey came with a lot of spotlights like this. And I shed all that spotlight to mental health. After I got out, we started with the team. We started with 2 psychologists. And Moshal was inaugurated with 300 parents, teachers, students, with 2 ministers and tons of media partners. When it started off with just 2 experts, 5 years later today, we have impacted more than 3.5 million people. We have 36 psychologists from USA, Canada, Oman, Qatar, India, and Bangladesh. We have been serving 5,000 clients altogether right now. So this wasn't really about me, was it? It wasn't. It was the nature's way of putting me inside the mud where it transcends into other people's life. It transcends other people's career. It transcends other people's pain. Somebody's pain becomes somebody's power. So as I am standing here right now, lotus cannot rise without its mud. Lotus cannot grow without its mud. So you guys see the lotus that I am today. But then when you see the lotus that I am today, you must acknowledge the mud that I have come from. All of you guys are a lotus. You have a lotus within you. But then in order to grow yourself, evolve yourself, you have to embrace the mud that you have within you. You have to raise above the mud. Your trauma is a badge of honor. Anybody who has gone through trauma, if you're somebody who has gone through trauma, has gone through struggle, you have to know that your brain, while going through trauma, creates these neurological pathways where your brain is taught to be even more resilient. Your brain is taught to have more survival instinct. It becomes more hypervigilant. So somebody who goes through trauma is more equipped to deal with issues than somebody who hasn't gone through trauma. I am better than somebody who hasn't gone through trauma or hasn't gone through the things that I've gone through. So embrace that hardship. Wear it as a badge of honor, because I did. And I didn't even realize what I was doing, but it showcases into this lives that we have transcended to altogether. As we close up today, I want to do a small exercise with all of you guys. So we'll talk about, or we'll dive into ourselves, and we'll do some imagination. So I need your full attention. I need your grounding. So can everybody look at me? Hi. Now, let's do some grounding exercise. Let's do some exercise that would make us present in this moment. I feel like we've been sitting for a very long time. Let's do some grounding exercise. Slowly, can you all make yourself feel very heavy? Feel that you're very heavy. Feel that you're very, very heavy. Now, can you make yourself feel very light? Feel that you're very light. Feel that you're very, very light. Okay? Now, can you make yourself feel like three things, three colors, one color that you can see in three places? Say, for example, red. Can you see red in three places? Okay. Can you feel what your hand feels like? Can you do this? Do this? Can you feel how your palm feels all together? Okay. Now, can you feel what your tongue tastes like? What does your tongue taste like? Does your tongue taste something? Can you taste something? Okay. So when you give this sensory to yourself, this is you sending signal to your brain that I'm safe and I'm here. And this is my reality. You're not somewhere else. You're here. So now let's slowly close our eyes. Everyone, even the volunteers, let's close our eyes. Let's close our eyes. There you go. Now I want you to imagine in what age you first got hurt. In what age you felt like your life was crumbling down. Imagine yourself in that age. Imagine yourself in that age where you are getting hurt. You're watching your younger self. Watch it, how much your younger self is getting hurt. See that version of you. Now, I want you to imagine a self that is far more evolved, away from this time. It has experienced everything. It has a lot of wisdom, maybe some gray hair, a very successful self of yours. That self is very wise, very wisdomous, have succeeded through everything, passed through time. That is a version of yourself. So imagine two versions of yourself standing next to one another. One is your younger version who got hurt, and another one is your last version where you are wise, you have succeeded everything, you've achieved everything. Now, what would your younger self do to your older self, and what would your older self do to your younger self? Would your older self hold your younger self and say something? Would they hug? What would your older self say to this young person who's so hurt, who's been going through so much? I want you to experience this entire event as a third person. Experience it. Look at your younger self and say that, look at me, you have made it. You will make it. Look at me, you will make it. You did not deserve all the hurt. You're so young, you don't deserve any of these hurt that you're getting right now. I want you to look at your younger self and talk to it. Even though it might not understand what you're saying, still say it. Hug it. Hug them and say, I'm so sorry that you had to go through what you are going through right now. And say it that I am here with you. I'm holding your hands every step of the way. And nobody will hurt you. Talk to it. Say it that nobody can hurt you anymore because I'm going to take care of you from now on. Your older self and your younger self, both of them are inside of you. Be the witness of this journey as you go through it. Take your child, take that younger version and say you will take care of it from now on. Give it all the love that it needed. Give it all the care that it needed. Give it everything that it always needed, and rewrite your story all over again. Now slowly let them go. Let them play. Let them be themselves and tell them that, hey, no matter what happens, you make it. You will make it. Now, whenever you're ready, I want you to open your eyes. Your higher self exists within you. The child that was wounded exists within you. And this is our purpose, to heal that child. The purpose is to reparent that child who didn't get the parenting that it deserved. And when you do that, a lot of trauma, a lot of abandonment issues, a lot of these things come together because you rewrite your story all over again. I rewrote my story all over again. We don't have to be perfect. We don't need perfection in this world. We need people who can walk out of that fire, not burned, but walk out of that fire with holding light in your hands. And that's why the name is Moshal. Thank you so much, everyone.